Sam's R32 GT-R Skyline is back. So we did the exhaust on this about 6 months ago. We never actually left it fitted because the car was still being restored. And whilst we were doing the exhaust, I'm not sure if I talked him into it or he talked himself into it, because he originally just wanted to stay on the stock twins for now, or maybe upgrade the stock twins for like another kind of stock twin setup, because there's quite a few. There's like the HKS twins, there's some Gredy ones. There's quite a few. I mean, obviously these cars have been around a long time now, and almost everything's been done. So there are quite a few upgrades. But whether it was me, whether it was him, I don't know. Talked himself into a twin turbo kit. So pretty early on, I said to him, EFR is really the only way to go, and he pretty much agreed. Twin EFR kit. It's a bit of a debate in the GT-R world, turbos, because obviously they come twin turboed from factory, and what a lot of people do is put a big single on. And all the modern turbos nowadays, the EFRs, they're really good. So you can put a big twin on, twin scroll, twin external gates, or even an internal gate, like a 9180. They make 1,000 horsepower, no problem, because these are so well done. The modern turbos make it so easy. They're super responsive. So the argument of single versus twins is an argument which just goes on and on and on, and there's loads of videos on it. There's loads of videos on the debate of it. And personally, I think a big single is definitely less complicated because you've got less pipe work, less turbos, less stuff in the engine bay, and it looks really visually impressive because you've got one really big turbo that sits perfectly in the side of the engine bay. But I also think, on the flip side, twins also look really cool because twin turbos, twice as good. Two is better than one. And I think for some people, staying to twins is kind of the way to go because it was twin turboed originally. So I think from a performance perspective, they're both great. They both will work the same. Twins obviously works out more expensive because you've got two turbos. But that's what we're going to go for. So we're going to do a twin turbo kit, but we are going to build it as a production kit. So we are going to build it as a kit we could sell. And then while we have the car here, we are also going to mock up for a T4 external gate kit for a big single and a single V-band kit. So we'll hopefully have kind of 3 kits available for these cars. So more about the car, really. I mean, this is now what is a fully restored R32 GT-R. It is in, it's not concourse condition. Few of them are, and Sam said himself he wasn't really going for concourse condition. But I'd say, considering he said that, it is in very good condition. Everything has been refurbished, and when I tell you everything is being refurbished, what comes across on the camera will not translate, because everything is like new on here. And he's also used a lot of the original parts where possible, which for me, on a restoration, I'm into classic cars probably more than I am modern cars. That is a big thing, because the more original parts you can use, the better. Obviously, when you're doing upgrades, you're not able to use a lot of the original parts, but that's inevitable. That is what's popular nowadays, the resto mod kind of kind of scene, and that is a scene that, you know, I love. I'm into Resto Mods, Retro Power, and all the things they do. Check out their YouTube channel if you haven't. So yeah, he's definitely gone down that route of restoring everything that can be reused. Everything that can be reused has been. Not only because they're really expensive Skyline parts, and some of them you can't get, but also because, say, it's better to do that. Else you just end up with like a Trigger's broom. You know, you end up with, you know, lots of new parts and none of the original ones. So is it even the same car anymore? That's a debate for the comments, probably. RB26 engine, which is obviously a pretty legendary engine. So this is like a really iconic car, the R32, because it's not the first Skyline, it's not the first GT-R, but it was the first car with the RB26 engine, and kind of decimated Australian touring cars with it, and the four-wheel drive. That was like a really big thing, the powerful engine and the four-wheel drive. You know, great chassis. I think when you see a normal one, or even like a GTST or something like that, they don't really look that visually impressive. And I think that's one of the things that draws me to these cars. I mean, I love an R34 as well, obviously. But with an R32 and an R33, I think they tend to look so, not ordinary, but they just look like a normal saloon car. It's just you know, it's a two-door saloon car. They do a four-door version. You know, you do often see four-door RB26 swapped ones, which is quite cool. You know, so, but it's something that, if you know cars, is so iconic. You know, if an R32 GT-R rolls past and you're into cars, you're going to know what that car is, even though for most people it doesn't really look. You know, it's not like an Impreza STI or an Evo, where they're just covered in sticky back plastic body kits, and they've usually got Hoonigan or whatever stickers you want on the side of them. You know, these cars generally don't. And of course, it picked up even more in maybe like the early 2000s, after the Too Fast, Too Furious film. You know, the like Brian's R34. You know, I specifically remember there's like a screenshot that gets pushed around on the internet every now and then of Auto Trader of R34 GTRs for like 12.5, 15,000, you know, 16, 17,000. There's like 3 cars in this screenshot that you can see. They're all like really low mileage ones. I'm not sure how many cars came to the UK, but until that film, they weren't really that desirable outside of the Japanese car scene, outside of people that were really into Datsuns and Nissans. They weren't really that desirable. But as with anything, you know, you can create demand for a product, and that film definitely did that for these cars, R34 specifically, and the R33s and some of the other, you know, Japanese cars that are in those films, like RX-7s and what have you. So yeah, it's definitely pushed the prices way up. I mean, imagine getting an R34 GT-R in Bayside Blue for 15 grand. You know, I'll have 4, please, because, you know, you'd be making a lot of money on them. Obviously, there's been inflation, and inevitably the price of classic cars do go up, and these are a classic now. But yeah, you know, that shows how quite quickly after a film that, you know, ignites a desire in a lot of car enthusiasts, you can really push the price up of a car. And really, you know, the price gets driven by demand. People want them, people are willing to pay sometimes like 6 figures for one, which does seem crazy, but, you know, you can buy a £15 million Ferrari 250 GTO as well if you want. So, you know, 15 million or 100,000, it's quite a big difference, and the Skyline's probably faster. So yeah, we're going to do twin turbo kit on it, and we're also going to mock up a couple of other turbo kits, so we should have turbos here in a couple of days. I'm not sure when the next video will go out, but that is one of the first kind of projects we're going to be working on the new unit. So yeah, keep your eyes peeled. Thanks for watching. If you like the video, give us a thumbs up. We'll see you next time.